So icicles on gutters, icicles hanging off your roof, icicles causing damage to your house. Why do they happen? How do we stop them? And hello, everyone. I'm Cheryl Seco coming on to talk about something that's appropriate for the season that I'm in right now, which is the winter. And I'm going to talk about icicles. Icicles. So, icicles are being formed only when there is snow on the roof and the temperatures get really cold. So you don't have icicles if you don't have snow on your roof at some point. And usually when you have a lot of snow on your roof, they're even worse. And so this has been a perfect storm for this. This is 2021 in February, and we've had some really cold weather and lots of snow. At least for me in the Midwest, it's been tremendous. More snow than I've seen in my lifetime, I think. So what's happening is that the warm air from inside the house is coming and escaping out of the house and coming out the roof. Could be a lot of different places, but the indoor heat is rising and going out the roof, and it's melting the snow on the roof from the underside. Some of that snow is staying on the roof because it's so dang cold and there's so much snow on the roof, but the water that's melting under the snow actually runs down the roof, and then when it gets to the edge of the roof, it's not as hot anymore. There's no heat coming out at the end of the roof. In fact, it could be really, really cold, especially at night. So that warm water that's now running under the snow down the slope of the roof gets to the roof edge where it then freezes back into ice. So in some cases, it's starting to fall off the roof and it's creating an icicle, which is basically water dripping down, and then it starts accumulating and it makes a bigger and bigger icicle. So, but the other thing that happens with icicles on gutters and icicles on the roof edge is something called an ice dam. And so what happens in that case is that the water from the snow, underneath the snow, is coming down, and it's now hitting the block of ice that's starting to develop at the roof edge. Whether there's a gutter or whether there's not a gutter, you can have these. The water hits the ice that's developed there, and now it can't go through the ice, and it's not enough water to melt the ice. So the ice acts as a dam, and the water stops there and freezes against that ice. Because again, it gets cold and it's not as warm as it is up higher up on the roof. So it starts building up the ice block bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, some of this water will go over the edge and the icicles will get bigger and bigger, whether it's from the sun melting the snow on the ice or melt the edge, the ice on the edge. That's where the icicles are getting bigger. But at the same time, the ice dam is getting bigger. And it starts growing because that wad of ice, that giant block of ice, starts trapping water that starts to then be able to seep under the shingles, assuming you have shingles, start going in between the shingles, actually pulls them apart, and then can leak into the living space. So look with a flashlight in your home along the edges to see if you see anything unusual, anything powdery, anything sparkly, any staining. You should have ice and water shield under your roof in parts of the country or the world where this happens. This is a waterproof membrane that is self-sealing, that the nails don't create holes in when the roof gets attached, called ice and water membrane. That should be going up 3 feet into the interior of your heated portion of your house at least. In some cases, you should do 6 feet, which would be almost 2 rolls. But this stuff's really expensive and sometimes it gets omitted. It is required by code in many places, but that doesn't mean it doesn't happen. If your roofer didn't do it and you didn't pay for it, it may be because either they didn't think of it or you didn't want to spend the extra money for it, however it happened. Doesn't matter, it happened. So it's always about indoor heat loss. And so the first thing you need to do is try to figure out where is the heat getting into the attic. Could be around the attic access location. So you want to seal that up, whether it's weather stripping or additional insulation. There's a lot of things online you can research about ways you can seal your attic access. Then there's other places like can lights are notorious, plumbing stacks, any other vents in the attic oftentimes will leak warm air into the attic, especially if you have a furnace in the attic. So these are all places to look. So start taping, start caulking, and start sealing. If you're still having trouble figuring it out, then this is the time to do a blower door test and possibly couple that with an infrared camera. If you can get a person with a blower door test and an infrared camera, that's an ideal situation to really figure out where your gaps are and where you could do better to try to block that heat loss. The other thing could be that you just need to add insulation to your attic. But in some cases, there's not even enough room at the edge over where the wall meets the roof to get enough insulation there. The other thing that happens is if the insulation has gotten wet, because water has already come through and has saturated the insulation, then the insulation compresses and is now not offering the same insulation capacity or ability that it used to do. And that becomes a vicious cycle that actually causes the ice dam to get worse and worse every year because the insulation gets compromised every year. So these are some things to check out about ice dams, and so I hope this is helpful. Check out my website, avoidingmold.com, my blog posts, my videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe to hear when I make new videos like this. And good luck with those ice dams. It's a tough problem. It is often covered by insurance, and you usually have to wait till after the winter's over. But if you've got a leak going on, it might be a good time to try to address it now, or at least know about it. So thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe. For more free information on safe building, avoiding mold, and water damage, visit avoidingmold.com.